Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Leeds Lounge. It is Friday, the 17th of February, the day before Leeds United go to Goodison to take on Dyche's Everton. Now, watched the press conference the other day. Obviously, we all know Skoobz is staying in, which is fine with me. For the time being, obviously, I'm not getting into the whole what I think should happen and who we should get in and who do you think we should get in and this and that and the other. I'm not going to get into all that at the end of the day. It's because there's so many differences of opinion on it all. We had some positive performance against Scum last Wednesday and also at the weekend. The vlog for that is late, so I do apologise, but it will be going up after the stream. Once I do my outro nearly a week later. Need to get on this YouTube grind a little bit better. But anyway, so yeah, the vlog for the Scum game that me, Dom and Graham went to on Sunday, that'll be up after this. So, cracking. So yeah, Leeds v Everton tomorrow. Looking at it on paper, we should do this really, essentially. Obviously from the press conference, Sinny's out, Strouk's out, still back in training but not available. But after the performance sort of last Wednesday, on Sunday, I feel like Firpo needs a start. He played well. What other news to touch on? Ayling's contract extended, rightly so, which is ironic because I do curse him every now and again, but he has been solid. So, and in them Scum games as well, that first one, he had a lot of successful tackles, but you could kind of argue because he was out of position, he had to make those tackles. But anyway, we're not getting into it. He played well, so rightly so. Keep him there, keep him in the dressing room. One of the older players as well, for get the younger lads in and geared up for the match and stuff. As Skoobz said in the press conference, every game in the Premier League is difficult. Tomorrow, obviously, based on where Leeds are sat in the table, is going to be very difficult as well. Because as Radrić Zani said, it's impossible for this team to be relegated. And a big shout out to the Just Joe football show with Saka de board. Statistic that he said earlier on. I'm not taking credit for this because I didn't look it up or research it. Did then look it up, obviously, and it is true that ever since Orta got cocky with the fans, we are the only team in the Premier League to have not won a game since then. So yeah, if we'd have gone on a mad run, then we'd have felt stupid, wouldn't we? Really, kind of taking the mick out of Orta. But he's kind of made himself look a muppet, really. But anyway, we're not getting into that. We're talking Leeds v Everton. What else? Cooper still out as well, they said. But coming back in. Sonny Perkins is back in training as well. I watched Jer's video earlier on, and there's apparently Gray is injured again, maybe. So not sure what's going on there. But looking positive for the players that we've got. That Somerville and Nonto link up and stuff. It'll be brilliant. Adams and McKennie worked really, really well last Sunday together. Kind of settling in there, especially against a big team. As much as we all hate to admit it, a big team like Scum, they did really well together to maintain that pressure. Obviously, the substitutions were made. Skubala obviously made those subs, bringing Bamford off and putting Rutter on to see if he could drop in behind and push forward, which could have worked, didn't. Obviously, then Haag as well, Ted Haag, making his substitutions and, switching Shaw over there and Rashford playing down the middle, that did work, So it's one of those things again where substitutions impacted the game massively. I think Leeds dropped off with sort of 9 minutes to go, and then obviously, you know, you can see 2 goals within the 9, so it is what it is. But tomorrow, Saturday, the 18th of February, we go to Goodison. We go to Everton. Obviously, in the last fixture, 1-1 at Leeds. So, you know, it's doable this time. Sinisteri, you know, scored in the last game, and Anthony Gordon scored for Everton. Obviously, now at Newcastle. Obviously, Everton are not to be taken lightly, regardless of the position that they're in. You know, they had a great game against Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool lacking in form, but still a great game. Not Liverpool, sorry, Arsenal. And Arsenal not lacking in form. Sorry, I do apologise. They had a rubbish game against Liverpool and got beat 2-0, which was good for us. So, you know, they sit below us in the table just by a point. So I think it's safe to say that 3 tomorrow is an absolute must. I've been listening to some other sort of YouTube channels and stuff today whilst at work and that, and saying that they'd take a point. I'm going to put a major a major point out here that I won't accept a point. I mean, obviously, if that's what we get, you've got to, but I will not be happy. I will probably be just as unhappy if we draw than if we lost. Because bearing in mind, I believe, if I double check this, I'm pretty sure that their goal difference is worse than ours. So yeah, so if they get a point tomorrow, so I can understand why people are saying get a point. If we get a point tomorrow, we stay above them. We're a point ahead. We lose, obviously, we go into the bottom 3, and they go above us. They only go above us by 2 points, though. But they would also go above West Ham. So, you know, they would go from 18th to 16th tomorrow. Whereas if we win tomorrow, just based on our game, we would go from 17th to 16th. So we'd do the same thing. And we go from 17th to 16th. 22 points would be on. Yeah, so it's basically all to play for both teams, isn't it, really, at the end of the day? Everton want to get out of that relegation zone. We want to make sure we don't go in to that relegation zone. So that's, you know, it's the way it is. So, you know, it's tough. It's going to be a tough day. It's going to be a stressful day for all of us. All of us that are watching. Bear me a sec. Yeah, tough day and stressful day for all of us, but I believe we can do it. I reckon we can do them there. I reckon we can get the 3 points. I think we could definitely get the 3 points tomorrow. I think the team will stay pretty much as it was, obviously for the Scum game on Wednesday. So I keep saying Wednesday on Sunday. So I think it'll pretty much stay the same. Melier, Aylin, Koch, Voba, Firpo will start. McKennie and Adams, Somerville, Harrison, Nonto, and Bamford. I reckon. So yeah, with the injuries and Sinisterra and that not being back, I reckon it will stay the same, pretty much. So we'll see what happens. I reckon. I think me text box isn't working, but that's all right. No fuss about that. I think the same energy that we had on Sunday and the previous Wednesday against Scum. The same energy. We push forward. We keep that shape. That's the thing that I've seen with Skoobz. He said he's made slight tactical changes. I don't believe they are slight, or maybe they are slight, but with the way that we were playing under Jesse Marsh, they look a lot bigger than they are. Purely based on the fact is that we actually have, like, for the first time ever, I can actually see a formation. I can see a shape. Especially when I was watching the Scum game on the Wednesday. You could see that amongst the chaos and us pushing forward and trying to score on this and that, and then when Man United got the ball, you could see that we then merged back into that shape all the way down the pitch. You know, they kind of were releasing Jack to kind of go forward, which wasn't leaving us vulnerable at the back, which is exactly what, you know, Jesse was doing. That group press forward, which then left you exposed. So long ball over, that's it, you're knackered, and you're probably 1-0 down, 2-0 down, 3, and so on and so forth. So that's the frustrating thing with that massively, is that's what was happening. Obviously, we can all agree that, you know, Marsh had, you know, some success against the bigger teams because of the way that they play. But then my argument is that we need to be doing these lower teams. You know, Everton, we need wins there. Southampton, Bournemouth. Obviously, I know we got a win. I know we beat Bournemouth, but still, you know, Southampton, Bournemouth, Everton, West Ham, even the likes of sort of Villa and Palace. I know they're above us at the moment, but it's sitting there. If you look at the table kind of as it stands, bear with me a second. Look at the table as it stands. Bosh. There we go. File. Sorry, I should have been slightly more prepared there. Table. Right. So we'll look at the table. Instead of me dragging my screens and stuff across, because I haven't got it all set up like that, I'm going to have to do it this way, which is fine because my text, me chat box anyway on the stream, as you can see on the side there, isn't working. So, which it tends not to. I don't know how it kind of works. So, boom, table. Bosh! There we go. Lovely. So you'll be able to see there. Let's transform that. Let's bring it down so it fits, sort of, kind of. So yeah, as that's kind of coming down. So you can see there at the bottom, obviously we're a point ahead of Everton. But those are the teams I think, you know, you sit there and think 3 points, and this is not taking into account what other teams are doing. But you take Leeds' games, for example, just Leeds' games. You think Everton, Southampton, Bosh, 6 points. If 6 points from this point would then get you 25, you would sit joint 12th with Crystal Palace. Because they'll have the same goal difference. They've got exactly the same goal difference as us. -10. So you think 6 points, depending obviously on other results for the other teams, 6 points, you sit joint 12th with Palace on 25 points. That's the ideal situation. Massively ideal. Obviously, yes, I realise that, you know, other teams have got to lose and this and that and the other, and depending on the fixtures, we might not want teams in and around us to lose. You know, at the end of the day, what we want to be cheering on is that those bottom three stay in the bottom three. Everything else, you know, we just need to try and start winning, and then those bottom three just need to remain there. So basically, tomorrow we need to beat Everton. Whoever's playing Bournemouth and Southampton, you cheer for them. And you do that throughout the weeks. We go on to Southampton, we beat Southampton, they stay down there, we move further up. And that's all we want to be doing, to be fair. I feel like people get way too technical in, oh, well, I could do with West Ham doing this, and I could do with the draw here, and I could do with the draw there. And I'm just like, whoever's in the bottom three, just lose. Whoever's in the bottom three, just lose. Because if you start going, oh, these could do, and oh, this would be beneficial to us because then this and that, and if they draw, then we go on goal difference and stuff. I sod the goal difference off. This is what really wound me up with the end of last season. I didn't mind going down last season. Well, I mean, obviously, of course I did. I didn't mind going down last season. The fact is that we could have gone down based on goal difference. And you never want that to happen. Like, if you've got 2 or 3 games left in the season and, you're 10 points into relegation, you're getting relegated. You've kind of made your peace with it at that point. I can't take the heart attack that was last season, that it comes down to the last day. And not only did it come down to the last day, but it wasn't just on us to win. Because it was like, if we won, and so did Burnley, we went down on goal difference. So it was like, it wasn't just on us. We had to win, and they had to lose or draw. Preferably lose, because then if they were drawing, you'd just get way too worried. I've got a tweet here from so-and-so. Tweet here saying, Everton tomorrow, big game, 3 points is an absolute must. Would take a point, but ideally the 3. Obviously it's blunt and to the point. That's taken no kind of looking into or any research, but it's just spot on. We need 3. It's 6 points these next 2 games. It's like it's absolutely crucial. It's crucial. You can't tell me, with the team that we have now, that you would accept a point from Everton tomorrow. They've got basically the same team. Yes, they've got a new manager, but they've just been absolutely humbled by Liverpool. You cannot tell me that you would be happy with a point tomorrow. Now, don't get me wrong, if we're losing 3-0 at half-time and we come out with a point, then yeah, you're gonna be relieved for the point, but you're not gonna be happy about it. So anybody saying I'm happy to get a point, you're full of shit. Excuse me, French. Another tweet here from Cody757. Thank you for the follow. 3 points is an absolute must. Everybody likes that saying. 3 points is a must. Don't think my heart can take the loss. Well, to be fair, I know there's loads of games left of the season, and you can call me cynical, but I think we lose tomorrow. We go down. I think personally, because in a game that on paper Leeds should absolutely trample, especially given the 2 performances that we've just had against Man United. If we play anywhere near like we have done in our last 2 games, we should absolutely batter them. Just don't give away any set pieces, corners, free kicks and stuff, because that's where they'll punish. That's where Tarkowski and that big-eared prick always bloody scores from. He did when he was at Burnley, and he did. He was. I've seen him be threatening at Everton. Just don't concede your set pieces. Don't concede your set pieces, and just play the game that we know we can play. I mean, you look at our team. It is quality. It's one of the best teams we've had in a long time. Now I know people would chop and change and say, "Oh well, he's not as good as him." And on a whole, this is the best team we've had for a long time. Skoobz doing really well. He deserves absolutely no stick whatsoever, because he has fallen ass backwards into this role because the board have not been prepared. So regardless of the results, it is not his fault. It's not his fault. And I do back him. I do support him. My personal opinion is that we win these next 2 games. Everton, Southampton. You get your 6 points there. Skoobz stays in till the end of the season. And I can understand why people are concerned about that, because just because you've got the 6 points, against Everton and Southampton, which you should, and any manager should get that with the team that Leeds have got, I don't think that's a huge, that's a massive vote of confidence. But they'll take the Scum game into account as well. A point against Scum, 3 points against Everton, and 3 points against Southampton. They'll take that into account and he'll stay. So it's it's a nerve-wracking experience. that we absolutely need the win. Comment here. Dyche's done well. Got that new manager bounce. Do you think that will affect the game? I think the new manager bounce, I think they've had it, and then obviously Liverpool, doing them 2-0. And I don't know if you watched that game. Liverpool were particularly brilliant, but Everton were very, very poor that game. I think Liverpool played better against us and when we had less talented players in, or not necessarily a fully fit squad. And Liverpool did have a fully fit squad, and we beat them 2-1. So yeah, I don't think that new manager bounce is gonna hit them. I think they've kind of had it with Arsenal. They peaked with a 1-0 at Arsenal, and then it's kind of dipped. Don't get me wrong. I think whoever Everton played after, I'd have fancied him for it. Even if it was the likes of City. Obviously, we all know what City can do, but yeah. So yeah, new manager bounce. I don't think that's gonna play, because you could sit there and argue that we've got a new manager bounce, which not technically true, but you could argue that we were. Another one, Harry Redknapp for Leeds. Yeah, no, I've seen all the stuff on Twitter. He's come out, hasn't he? Harry Redknapp's come out and actually said, no, I'm not looking at the Leeds job. I'm pretty sure he's come out and said that he's not coming out of retirement for the Leeds job. Would I want him? No, I don't think. This is the thing. This is why I don't get into it, because it's so difficult. It's so difficult to say, oh well, is he better than Is he better than Mike? And he probably is, but then you could argue, he's been retired a very, very long time, and football, so rapidly changes with the way that it's played. So yeah, no, I don't really have an opinion on that. If it came to Leeds, would I have been happy? You've got a manager there with a shed ton of experience, and very, very well versed in taking players and getting them to reach their max potential. So yeah, personally, I think he would have been okay, but obviously we know it's not happening. They're clearly gunning for Nuno, which I'd fully accept and would be happy with it, to be honest. Nuno would be a great great choice. Would be. I think essentially, just to kind of like wrap this up a little bit so the video isn't hugely long. I think personally, Nuno is probably our most likely option. If for whatever chance we get 6 out of these next 2, we stay up, we do quite well with Skoobz. I heard somebody say that they would offer him the position at the end of the season. I don't think they would. I think if Leeds stayed up and kind of finished in that sort of anywhere between like 12th and 14th, I think that would then be, with how badly the start has been, I think that would be attractive to a manager, to then go, well, if they can do that with all that chaos, imagine what they could do from the beginning of the season, all summer to train, all summer to get better. I think that would attract a manager. If we can manage to finish sort of anywhere between 12th, I'd say even 12th and 15th, to be honest, just stay up and stay safe. But if we manage to do that, I don't think they'll give Skoobz the managerial position, no. I think that's what they're hoping for, so then they can go in for the likes of Slot and obviously Nuno and stuff and say, look, obviously we had a pretty poor season, but yet still finished here. So I think that's, I don't know how managers think, but I assume that's how they would think, is they would then look and go, this is an exciting prospect, we could build on this. They've got the quality there in the team massively now, and options to come off the bench. They've not got a tiny squad like Bielsa like to have. I mean, the squad was amazing, but it was small, and we saw what happened when we got injuries. That then diminished the whole project. So I think that would be attractive to managers that they're looking at that have, turned us away, to say, actually, I do want to go to the Premier League and manage, and Leeds looks like a good project, and basically build. What I basically want is for us to stay safe, and then over these next sort of 3 years, just get to a point where we're starting the season and we're not already worried about relegation. Because that's where I'm at. After finishing 17th and just surviving on the last day last season, I came straight into this season. You can call me negative, and I don't care. I came straight into this season just going, please don't get relegated. And all I want is to support Leeds through and through and start the season without the fear of getting relegated. Go into every season and go, well, we're not going to get relegated, and then be gutted that we're not top 8, top 6, finishing 10th and 11th and going, we could have done better. That's where you want to be. That's not going to happen, like it has done for Newcastle. They've gone from this time last year, they were rack bottom of the league. Well, not this time, but this time Christmas last year, or like January last year, they were 20th. Where did they finish? 9th. Where are they now? 4th. Are they getting relegated this season? Are they? Hell. What are they on? Let's have a look. They're on 41 points. They're safe automatically now. 41 points. That's safe. That's safe. And then look at how sporadically it drops. So you've got basically your top 8, which are close. So Brentford, your top 10 really. Your top 10. I know it kind of then creeps down, but what I'm saying is like then the quality. So, Chelsea in 10th, Liverpool in 9th. Like who'd have thought you'd have seen that this season? Newcastle in 4th. 5 points behind Scum. Man City, they're top of the league. Why? Goal difference. They've got 10 goals on Arsenal. So Arsenal need to win this season with points. They need to win this season with points. And they know that. But Man City know that they can just keep matching them on points, and they're going to deck them on goal difference. I'd prefer to win a title on points rather than goal difference, but a win's a win at the end of the day. So, yeah. Leeds Everton tomorrow. To sum up, because there's been a bit of a ramble here. Oh, go on then. Last one. Would I give Skoobz the job till the end of the season? My immediate reaction is no, because he's unproven. I know you could say the same about Jesse Marsh, but when Jesse came in, I was sceptical. I didn't come online and bash him and this and that and the other. I supported him. I was like, well, clearly the board sees something that we don't. We don't know a lot about him, blah, 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 blah. But no, I wouldn't give Skoobz it till the end of the season, even with 6 points out of these next 2 games. Depending on the results, if we get 6 points out of these next 2 games, the likes of Nuno and stuff, they might want to pay the buyout clause and stuff and get them across and go, right, okay, get him in and build on this. Maybe have him Skoobz there as an assistant coach rather than go back down to the 21s, but we'll see. But no, I wouldn't give Skoobz the job till the end of the season. Just it's too much of a risk. Now, don't get me wrong. If we have no other choice, I will back him. I will support him because, like I said earlier on on the stream, he's fallen ass backwards into this job because the board has been completely unprepared for it. They had Marsh lined up as a successor for Bielsa. Then he's done a year onwards. Study 99 Everton fan, welcome to the stream, mate. There's no ill will here. I don't go around slagging fans off. You support who you want to support, so thank you very much for joining in. Everton fan, I think you'll beat us. You have too much energy for us. I completely agree, but at the end of the day, Everton, Leeds are very much a team that expel more energy than needs to. So, I'm going to be honest with you, Stoddy, mate. I do think we'll win, and for both of us that need the win, I do think we'll win. However, there's Leeds are still very much vulnerable on set pieces, and from all the games that I've watched Everton play this season and the highlights and you're very clinical with set pieces. You've got players there that take those out. So I'm hoping for a win tomorrow, but by no means am I thinking it's going to be a complete walkover. If we play, like I mentioned earlier on in the stream, anything like we did against Man United on Sunday and last Wednesday, then yeah, I think we'll be good. But like, one goal for Leeds doesn't do it. Unless we're 3-0 up against you, I'm not comfortable. And it doesn't matter what team we play. Unless we're, if we're 2-0 up at half time, I still think that you have the quality there to come back and draw or even win it, because I feel like Leeds have the tendency to drop off when they shouldn't do. They did it on Sunday. On Sunday they dropped off. 9 minutes to go, playing for the point against Scum. Completely agree with what they did. Made the substitutions. They didn't work. I mean, Scum scored 4 in 9 minutes. It's hard. You have suffered with goals. You have. Everton have greatly suffered with goals, and I completely agree with you. Leeds and Everton's are never an easy game. Everton will know what kind of trouble Leeds are in as well. We're only a point above you here, just out of the relegation zone, with nearly half the games for the season left to play. There's no reason for Everton to go in tomorrow and think, and have their heads down. They won't be. Even after that Liverpool defeat, they will not have their heads down. We're at your place tomorrow. The fans will be up for it. The Everton fans are quality, same as the Leeds fans. They'll be up for it, mate. And I tell you something now, I do think we'll beat you, but I may be coming back after the match tomorrow and doing a video, and not particularly happy. So I'm not taking it lightly. So, if you fail tomorrow, you're gone. I respect. Do you know what? I respectfully disagrre with that, mate. There's a fair amount of games left to play, and a lot of points, and it's not necessarily. You've got, obviously Everton have got to focus the same as Leeds. Leeds and Everton have got to focus on them. They've got to be getting the points. 1 point, 3 point. You've got to be getting the points. That's obviously step one. Step two is you got to sit there and think others may slip. You've got Nottingham Forest there on the table. They're in 14th. They won't finish there. If they do, then round of applause to them. They will not finish there. I reckon that Forest either still go down or they just to say scrape to stay up. But basically, you've got, I'm not even joking, from Crystal Palace, I'd say from Crystal Palace down to the bottom, any of those teams could get relegated. Because all it takes is a couple of slips and the rest of them start playing. I reckon Southampton are gone. And I think Bournemouth will as well. I do think Everton will survive, as much as I hope Leeds survive as well. My favourites to go down are either Forest, or in particular, to be fair, either Forest, Wolves or West Ham. And I know that sounds really strange, with them being above us. But that's what I think. I think Leeds are too good. I was going to say Leeds too good to go down there. Jesus, the backlash should have been ridiculous. I don't think they're too good to go down. What I'm saying is that I don't think they should go down with the team that we've got and the way that we play. They shouldn't go down. That doesn't mean they won't. I'm just saying they shouldn't. Same with Everton. Good players, great formation. Dyche is doing obviously well. He's not been in that long. And we know that he's a good manager. So trust what he's got on the go. And I think he'll keep you right. I think he'll keep you up. I'm hoping that Skoobz does the same with us. It's so far he's done 2 games and they've been against Man United. We take a point from one, and for the first time ever, us playing Man United, I left that game thinking we've dropped points there. We've dropped points. And never, I thought, both games, I feel both games we dropped points. We're 2-0 up. In the first game, we draw 2-2. We're holding them out massively. 9 minutes to go. to get a point there. 2 goals allowed, bang, we lost 2-0. Still very positive performance, and that's what I'm heading on, and that's what I'm focusing on, is that it was a positive performance. But I think Everton, personally, I like playing Everton. I like the Leeds and Everton games because Everton do have a tendency to sit back. Now, don't get me wrong, Pickford is an absolute bellend, and he'll be time wasting from the minute. From minute one, he'll be time wasting. What's he had? 4 cards this season already. But what Leeds need to do is not let that bother them. What we need to do is pile in the goals. I think Everton's the only team I'm really thinking of that we could go like maybe 1 or 2 up, and then it would be hard for you to score. Because, like you mentioned, obviously in the comments there, Stoddy, is you do struggle to score. So I get where you're coming from, but then to also be a realistic Leeds fan, I don't think it'll be as easy. You know, you're saying, oh, we're going to lose tomorrow. I'm saying, yep, you are going to lose tomorrow. We're going to win. I think we're both wrong. I think it'll be more difficult than we both think there, and it'll be a good game to watch. I hope. And, you know, I know the time wasting's coming from Pickford because it always does, but the Leeds players just need to not let it get to them, and they just need to play their game. And like you say, we've got bags of energy, and that's what we need to do, is just run ragged. So we'll see what Skoobz has in store. What we've done now. Been going for 40 minutes. Appreciate everybody for watching anyway. I'll finish off with my score predictions for tomorrow. So I'm going to be hugely positive. I'm going to say Leeds 3, Everton 1. And I think 3 points tomorrow. I'm going Bamford, Somerville and Nanto for the goals. So yeah, Leeds 3-1 tomorrow is my score prediction. As usual, like and subscribe. Thank you for the subscribers that have subscribed there, and the likes on the video, and everybody that's watched. I appreciate it very, very much. I'm going to sort the vlog out now, do my end vlog thing, so that'll be up after this, and that's from the Scum game last Sunday. So yeah, tomorrow. Try speak tomorrow, whatever the result. I will do. I'll probably pop on, maybe do a little live stream after the game tomorrow. I've got my brother-in-law coming around tomorrow to watch the game, so I won't stream that. I'll get demonetized off YouTube with his language. So yeah, regardless of the result tomorrow, I'll pop something on the YouTube channel tomorrow anyway. Good luck, Stoddy, and to Everton, and as usual, marching on together. Leeds. See you later.